Developer's Log, Stardate 67298.4. These are the voyages of the game development starship The Tiniest Shark. Its continuing mission to seek out new life and new simulations, to boldly continue developing the game Redshirt. I'm Commanding Officer Mitu Kandekar, and this is the 6th instalment of the Developer's Log videos. Now, it's been a while since I've posted a new video, mostly because, as many of you know, the game has been available to pre-order and play the beta version. So thank you so much to those of you who've been playing and providing feedback. And for the last couple of months, we've really just been putting out updates, adding improvements to the game, and really just responding to your feedback. So this video is actually about the latest version that's just been released, which is Redshirt beta version 0.7, and it's basically the biggest improvement to the game so far. So just to remind you, if you've already pre-ordered Redshirt, then you can download and start playing this new version, that is version 0.7, straight away. And if you haven't yet pre-ordered, then you can do that at redshirtgame.com, and you can also start playing this new version. We're actually considering version 0.7 to be code complete, which is really exciting. So this new version really tries to address some of the main concerns which came up during beta testing, which is really about sort of how replayable the game is and how NPCs behave. So version 0.7 really tries to address those concerns, and I'm going to talk to you a little bit now about how I've done that. One of the major improvements to the game in version 0.7 is really to do with the way that the characters behave, because really a lot of the essence of the game is in your interactions with them and how those interactions play out. Now, previously the NPCs each had 6 different personality attributes, and those were happiness, confidence, how social they're feeling, how inspired they're feeling, how selfish they're feeling, and of course their health. Now, all of these could change depending on how their interactions with you and with each other would go. So, say they kept getting repeatedly turned down for friend requests, their confidence would drop and they'd be less likely to try to make new friends. Now, the problem with the fact that they all had these attributes which were changeable meant that there was a chance that in some games they'd all come to a kind of equilibrium where all the characters would end up pretty much behaving the same as each other. So now, in version 0.7, in addition to those attributes, when you go to create a new game, you get this extra screen here, which defines what the station setup will be. So remember, when you create a game, the station randomly generates all these NPCs who look different and behave differently and are totally unique to your particular game. So now the 5 new fixed personality types that NPCs can have are bigotry, chattiness, vanity, quirkiness, and fickleness. So you can turn up the bigotry slider, so you can choose to be on a station full of terrible people if you like, and this will affect a number of things, ranging from how likely NPCs are to hang out with characters outside their own species, or accept job requests from them, and sort of defining the kinds of things they post and so on. Chattiness will affect how much they post to Spacebook, obviously, and how much they send messages. Vanity affects various things, including whether or not they get upset at you for inviting them out or not. So it's not all characters who are likely to do that now, it's just the particularly vain ones. Quirkiness affects how likely they are to do an event which they're not usually interested in. And fickleness will affect how extreme their reactions are to pretty much everything. And also basically how likely they are to fall in love. So you can adjust these sliders however you want, and you can experiment with different combinations of those personality types in sort of, in different games that you create, basically. So all this leads to there being more overall drama in the game. All the characters are generally more active and quick to respond to things, so as the player you'll find yourself in a position where you're having to make decisions about friends and relationships more often. All this extra drama also means that romantic relationships in the game require a bit more maintenance. So, for example, if you don't take your loved one out on specific dates, they might begin to resent you and send you messages letting you know that. So the work and event screens now show you how an individual character is currently feeling, so you actually get a sense of them and their personality. There have been a number of improvements to the SHOP as well, so you've got the ability to click on a button to repair all items at once now, and you can also recycle items in exchange for karma creds if you're running low on karma creds or whatever. The aspiration window now tells you the reward for completing a particular aspiration too, so you can sort of better decide whether or not it's pursuing that aspiration, or whether you want to replace it or just ignore the aspirations altogether and do your own thing. So those are just a tiny handful of the many changes in Redshirt Beta 0.7. There's basically a massive change list which I'll link to in the description. But I should also mention that one other change is that if you decide to play as an Asrian character, you'll experience a different set of dynamics in the game as well. So as the game is now code complete, all that remains to be done is to add more content, so more status updates, more possible Spacebook events, and more flavor text and voiceover and things like that. So basically Redshirt is almost done at last. And it will be released officially very soon, so you'll be able to get it via direct download, of course, but also on Steam and GOG. And remember, if you've pre-ordered the game already, then you can play this beta version that I've been talking about in this video. And if you haven't pre-ordered, then you can do that at redshirtgame.com. So if you pre-order, you'll be able to immediately download beta version 0.7, and you'll also get a Steam key, which will get activated when the game is officially released. So until next time, when hopefully will be the post-release video.